Welcome back, third grade. So today we're going to start, as we always do, with a riddle or a optical illusion. Today we're going to do a riddle. We're going to start with that. Then we're going to go into our lesson, and then I will walk you through our homework assignment. Okay? Here we go. Ready for the riddle? Here's today's riddle. In what year did Christmas Day and New Year's Day fall in the same year? Go ahead and pause the recording and think about it for a moment. When you're ready, come back and I'll give you the answer. Now, this is purposely meant to be a little confusing because a lot of times we forget that Christmas Day and New Year's Day while they're very close together, they tend to be in different years, right? Like Christmas 2020 ended, and a week later we had New Year's Day 2021. So what year, though, did Christmas Day and New Year's Day fall in the same year? Now remember, we're not talking the same month, we're talking the same year. I bet I didn't fool you at all. I bet you said every year. Because that's right, every year we have Christmas and every year we have New Year's Day. The thing is that New Year's Day is January 1st and Christmas is December 25th. What I think would have been a better question is, in what year did Christmas Day and New Year's Eve fall in the same year? That would have been even trickier. Maybe I'll change it for next time. All right, my friends, let's move on and talk about our assignment, or let's talk about what we're going to do today. We're going to be talking about book trailers. So Read Across America is coming up, and we're going to be celebrating that in school and virtually by doing a number of different things. And one of the things we're going to do is our third and fourth graders are going to be creating book trailers. And so I want to show you a couple of book trailers. While you're watching them, I want you to think to yourself, what do I like about this? What do I don't like? What do I notice? And how are they different? Okay? So let's go ahead and get started with that. Here's the first one. All right, so let's think about that one for a minute. What did you like about that one? Maybe you liked that there was no narration, that it was just words. Maybe you liked that it was kind of spooky sounding, right? Maybe you liked that they told you very clearly that there were 3 strangers and 3 clues. What do you think made this a good book trailer? You can pause if you want to think about it further. Maybe you like the music. The music sort of set this tone for us, didn't it? It sort of made us feel like, ooh, there's something spooky, something mysterious going on. I wonder what this book is about. Did it make you think the book was about adventure or a mystery? If it did, that's exactly the job it was meant to do, right? It told you exactly what it wanted you to know about it. Let's stop now and take a look at another book trailer, and then we're going to come back and we'll compare the two. So,
it's raining. What do you like to do on a rainy day? How about make cupcakes? Pink cupcakes. They're pink-alicious. I want another one. I want another one. One more. am pink. Mom and Dad give me a bath, but I'm still pink. Being pink is awesome. I'm Tinkerbell. Mommy and Daddy say no more pink cupcakes. Just one more. Oh, no! Pinkalicious is on your book fair. It's a reading treat.
So that was Pinkalicious. Let's take a look at those two now. What made Pinkalicious different from the first one? I bet one of the things you thought was the music, right? The first one was sort of this dark and mysterious music, but Pinkalicious was sort of light and fun, and you knew it was going to be a little bit not as serious, not as suspenseful, but a lot of fun, right? What's another thing that made them different? I bet you said that Pinkalicious showed pictures from the book, as opposed to the Clockwork 3 that actually just made up their own video segments to it, right? So Pinkalicious showed us pictures so we could actually see who the characters were. We could kind of get a sense of exactly what happened. Very good. So what do you think now about what makes a good book trailer? So maybe look at some of the things they had in common. They both told you who the characters were. They both was very clear what the book was and who the author was, right? And they both told a little bit about the story, but they left you in the end with a hook, a cliffhanger. In the end of both, they didn't tell you what happened in the story. They didn't even tell you how the story ended, but they did sort of leave you wanting to know more, right? And that makes a really good book trailer because you want to give people just enough to be interested. Then you leave them with that cliffhanger or that hook and then encourage them to read the book. Excellent work. So today what you're going to do is you're going to pick a book that you've read or a book someone has read to you or a book you've read in class together or a book that's been read at the library. If you haven't selected, if you're not sure what book to choose, you can always go and find a book and you can see if you can read it yourself, or you could find it, see if it's on YouTube and if there's a video of somebody reading the book. I bet you might be able to find that too. So there's a lot of different options that you have for a book. So it can be a book you've read. It can be a book someone has read to you. It can be a book that you've watched on being read on YouTube. It can be a book you've read in class with your classmates or a book that's been read at the library. That's 5 choices. So pick a book that you like that's been read to. And, it could be a book that you've actually read to a sibling or to a cousin or some younger person. One of my favorite books that I recall from when I was younger was The Monster at the End of This Book. I don't know if you know it, but it's about Grover from Sesame Street. And the reason I love this book is because I used to read it to my little brother when he was a kid. And so for me, he was 6 years younger than me. So for me, I love that book. And even though we're both grown-ups now, I can still in my head hear how excited he was about that book and how he would try to say the lines before I would read it, because I read that book to him a lot. He loved that story. So pick something you really like. It could be from any time. Any book will do, because we're making our book trailers for everybody in the school. So your book trailer could be something that's for a kindergarten class or for a 3rd or 4th grade class. It's totally up to you what you'd like to do. But just pick a book that you're familiar with and let's use that. So once you've done that, we're going to then create our book trailer starting with a title slide. Now the title slide is going to be the same as the book. You know what? Let me do this before I show it, before I explain it all to you. Let me go and show you the assignment, because that's going to explain it better. So in order to find our assignment, we're going to go to Schoology. You know that you're going to look here. If you don't see it here, you'll go to Materials, and you'll find it listed in Materials. Now I'm going to have you create a storyboard. When we're creating a project like a video, like what we're going to be creating, We're going to be using PowerPoint to do that. You're going to want to create a storyboard. You need a plan. You need a plan that you can follow so that you know exactly what you're going to do when it's time to put it all together. So what you're going to do for your assignment is this week is to create that storyboard. So you'll click on the link and it's going to bring you to a Nearpod. We know that when we click on Nearpod, we click the red bar, then we click the Yes, Continue, and then that will bring us to our Nearpod. So once we're in our Nearpod, this is our book trailer rubric. This is how you're going to be graded on your book trailer. So I'll just run through this quickly, and then I'll explain the slides to you, and then we'll come back and see if there's anything else that you need, and you can always send me a question if you'd like. So here's our book trailer rubric. The storyboard, which is what you're going to do for your assignment, is worth 10 points. You're going to create 4 slides. The first slide is your title slide. The second and the third can be the summary and the characters. You might weave them kind of in and out. Then the last is going to be your hook. What's that cliffhanger? Each slide is worth 15 points each, okay? Then we're going to work in some elements. For example, we've learned how to use transitions, so work in some transitions. We've learned how to use images, so you're going to definitely want some images. You'll probably want at least a picture of the book, right? Like the cover or something like that. We're going to work in some sound, and I'm going to be teaching you that in a later lesson. We're going to work in some animation. Again, something we'll learn in a later lesson. Put in backgrounds and how to create your PowerPoint so that it auto-plays. Those are all going to be future lessons. So today, what you're going to do is you're going to create your storyboard. So here's how you create your storyboard. You're going to complete your storyboard by drawing pictures, writing your script, or including page numbers from the book. So what does Mrs. Tierno mean? I mean that if, let's say, you want to draw a picture, great. You know exactly what picture you want to draw for that first slide. Maybe it's something as simple as this. Maybe you'll draw, I'm going to take this, I'm going to make it nice and I'm going to make it a lot thinner. Maybe I'm going to draw a book like this, right? And then I'll put like my pages. And I don't have to get really fancy. I'm going to draw maybe like, I don't know. Let's say I'm doing the wishing tree, right? So I'll do that, and then I'll write here. You can use the text. You can use the text option here. It'll create a text box. Pick whatever color you want. I'm going to pick this color. Then you can move your text box, make it smaller so it fits, just like this. Uh-oh, what happened to my text box? There it is. This is Tierno. So you're going to type in the name of your book, The Wishing Tree by Catherine Applegate. So now you can take a look at this and say, oh, I don't like the way that's designed at all. So we can actually make that a little bit smaller if we want. We can go here and make it all smaller so we can get it all to fit the way we want it to, okay? So that's how you're going to do that. Then you can play around with it. If you wanted to do more than one text box, you can. So then you've got the name of the book and the author. You can add that up here, but you don't have to. Then on your next is going to be, maybe you'll choose to give a summary of the story. So you can write the summary by dragging a text box and saying write, flickering right inside it, write summary. Okay, that's one option. So you could click it by writing the summary. Okay, or you could draw a picture of the story. So you could draw a picture of the story. I don't know the story of the wishing tree, but we'll have a person here sitting at the tree, whatever your story might be. Mrs. Tierno's not an artist, so I draw stick figures, okay? So you could do that. Or you could say, oh, you know what? I want to include a picture from page 32. So you could just write page 32 on there. Just put something in that allows you to have an idea of what you're going to do. So then when you go to create your slides, you're just ready to do that, okay? Then once you're done with that slide, you'll go to the next. And on the next slide is where you're going to add information about either the story characters or more of the summary. A lot of times our summary will include the characters. And then what's your cliffhanger? What are you going to put here to make people want to read your book? And then once you're done with that, you're going to click submit and it'll be turned in. Simple as that. All right. So that's what you're going to do with this assignment. Again, we're going to be creating a story, a storyboard that's going to outline or plan how we're going to complete our book trailer. All right. So if you have any questions about that, you know to go to Schoology, and I'll show you where. If you've got any questions, you know to go to Schoology, click on the little envelope, go to new message, and go and write my last name in, because then my picture will come up in a second and you can pick my picture, and then type in the subject like help or storyboard or book trailer, and then write me your message. If you don't want to write the message, you can voice record the message or video tape the message. However, whatever works for you is fine. And you can send that to me. Once you're done, you click send. It'll come right to me. And then I can help you with that. Okay? So I hope that you all are excited as I am about this assignment, because I think it's going to be a great assignment for you. And if you've got any questions, I hope that you'll remember to ask me what those are. So let me ask you this. How does a plan, or how does having a plan, help us use technology to tell a story? So I want you to think about that answer. How does having a plan help us use technology to tell a story? All right, my friends, that's all I have for you this week. I am so looking forward to your storyboards. Remember, it can be any book at all. It can be a book you read to a sibling, a book you've read yourself, a book someone's read to you, a book that you've watched being read on YouTube, or a book that you've read in class together. All right. Looking forward to seeing all your stories. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.